rules of engagement are being smudged right now. So be extremely careful. Don't put yourself in a position where they're going to feel a need to pull a gun. Think about your high school bully, okay? Think about how easy it was to get his attention and get him pissed off at you and get him doing whatever it is that he used to do to you. Hey guys, welcome back to Reason Rises. This one again is going to be a short one, and this might just be the format that I do from now on. It's just not that long. Keep you guys engaged. Don't take much of your time, and maybe just go over not 6 million things, but maybe one thing. So we're going to try a little experiment tonight. I'm actually going to go over a meme that you guys might have seen. I'll show that to you in just a second. First things first. One of my listeners suggested, hey, sometimes people might want to get in touch with you or ask you questions or, have you answer back. Honestly, guys, just comment right under this video. Please remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. Just click the subscribe button. It just means that I show up in your feed. That's all. So please click that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Click the like button if you like what I have to say here. And just comment. I mean, I read my comments. If it looks nasty right off the bat, I just generally ignore it unless they have some kind of decent point to make or what have you. Sometimes I actually do answer back. But in any event, you have a question to ask or you want to say something, just comment on one of my videos. Every day I see a little report that I can look through that shows me anything that somebody commented on any of my videos that I haven't responded to yet or that I haven't seen. So, just do it in the comments, guys. All right, so tonight we're going to keep it short as we can. And I think this is a seriously important issue, guys. We are going to go over this meme right here. I'm sure plenty of you guys have seen it. It's going around Facebook right now. I'm sure it's going around other platforms. And as soon as I saw it, I said, that is not just relevant, but it's super important right now. People are protesting. People are sometimes getting in ICE's way, and ICE is obviously acting very uncool about that. And if you don't know the rules or you don't know what your rights are, it can get confusing for you. It can get confusing for the officer. As one of my other guests said, they do have a lawful job to do, and they should be doing it lawfully. And the same goes for protesters. If anybody's going to be having the bravery to go and tell them that they are performing their job incorrectly or that you don't believe in their mission, what have you, man, we should be out there for sure in force. Let the news cameras see you, and most importantly, let them see you being peaceful. Don't let them see you being violent. Don't let them see you doing, by don't let them see you, what I mean is don't do it. Don't be violent. Don't destroy storefronts. Don't do anything at all that could give them any fuel to claim that you are a domestic terrorist. And I'll show you a picture right now. Yeah, that was Renee Goode right before she got shot. And that is who Department of Homeland Security is trying to call a domestic terrorist. So you think you can't be named a domestic terrorist just for protesting or being in the wrong place at the wrong time or doing the wrong thing? Absolutely you can. So let's get some stuff straight about this this exact meme. So again, I'm going to put it up right here. I'll just leave that up while we are talking about it. And we're just going to go one by one here, and we're not going to take too long. So I'll put the individual ones up here. So we'll start with this first one, not a police force. We'll keep that one up. Now, what we're talking about here is ICE, what they can and cannot do, obviously. What is more important is what you can and cannot do. I mean, clearly they are violating lots of rules and regulations and even constitutional requirements, but we can't deny the fact that they are actually indeed a police force, and that they do have some rights of their own. Now, I do want you to keep in mind the context that we're working in here. I mean, just the reality that we're working under, which is that lots of agents are not particularly well trained right now. And we know that from, I believe, an Interior report, but I'll put at the bottom of the screen why I know this. But ICE agent training has been cut from 16 weeks down to 6 weeks. Okay. So, assuming that that's, 40 hours a week, then that is 400 hours that agents are missing before they're being put out onto the street as agents. They can't possibly be trained on every situation, how to handle it legally. They can't possibly be well trained on ethics or constitutionality or anything. I mean, these guys are just being rushed right through and thrown into the field. There have also been reports lately, which I'll link to or put at the bottom of the screen. Check the description if it's not at the bottom of the screen, where they are going out with essentially no training, not even background checks, not even checks on whether they have any domestic violence issues or anything like that. They're being thrown into field offices as agents to act in the field without even being fully trained at all. So, I mean, sometimes we have people out there who have a lot of power and are completely lacking the training to wield it. So, all that aside, let's start with number one here. So not a police force. Well, that's kind of half true. It's nuanced, as we say. So they are federal law enforcement. They carry badges. They got guns. They've got arrest powers. They specialize in immigration, though, not general crime. They wear insignia a lot of the time that says the word police. And they might even call themselves police if they're banging on your door. If they say police, you can just straight up ask, are you police or are you ICE or are you local police department? Now, these days, they're probably not going to answer, but they should. They should identify themselves properly. They're supposed to. And you are obviously, should be video recording everything. And before this is over, I'll get to why that is so important. The thing is, they only enforce federal immigration and customs issues. So while they are police, they can't just do anything about local criminal laws or traffic issues or anything like that. They're only allowed to handle immigration stuff. The vests that they wear often get things a little bit confusing. Local cops cannot make the same type of arrests, so they can't make immigration related arrests unless there's a special agreement that is called a 287G, I believe. And in a lot of cities, they just flat out won't do it. Like they've got policies saying we don't work with ICE under any circumstances. But it can be confusing. But as far as general law enforcement, no, they are not, and they can't enforce local laws or anything like that. Strictly immigration. Let's move on to number two here. Stopping vehicles, no random stops. And I am referring here just to make sure that I'm correct on everything. Now, it is true on paper that they can't be doing that, but it's in practice these days, things have obviously kind of changed. So you still have the Fourth Amendment, which obviously protects you. They can't just pull over whoever they want with zero reason. That part is true. On the meme itself, it says can only stop a vehicle if they have reasonable suspicion of an immigration violation or an official warrant. No random stops. That's only kind of true. So yeah, like I said, they can't just pull you over for no reason. However, in September of last year of 2025, the Supreme Court ruled that some of the things that can be used to determine immigration status could be the color of your skin, can be the language that you're speaking, it can be the clothes that you're wearing, it can be the location where you happen to be, meaning a car wash or a Home Depot, etc. It seems effing believable that that's true in America, but it is true. That's all they need now, and they can discriminate based on those things, and they can make a traffic stop. Other things, if they think that you are impeding or blocking their access to a law enforcement operation, then they absolutely can stop you and ask you to move. They can't do regular random traffic stops. And one thing they definitely cannot do is jump out of their vehicle, run over to yours, and shove a gun in your face and tell you, you better stop following us. We'll get to that in a minute, but that is absolutely not allowed. Get it on videotape, because here's what's going to happen is anybody who's wrongfully arrested and it's worth the hassle, you're going to have a court process. This is still America. You're going to get out, but your life is going to be severely screwed with. So get it on videotape. Remember everything that happens. Take as many notes as you can. When all this is over, I think these guys are going to be slammed with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, specifically civil rights lawsuits, but also just lawsuits for emotional distress, lawsuits for damaging people's cars, lawsuits for all kinds of stuff. I think we're kind of just waiting for just an unbelievable number of lawsuits. So anyhow, yeah, the Fourth Amendment still protects you, but get everything on video if you can. They they do have to have reasonable suspicion. They do have to have a warrant. Otherwise, they really can't be pulling you over. But the thing is, they just might do it anyway. And if they do, just remember, you say, "I choose to remain silent." Be polite. Identify yourself. Don't go any further. Say, "I choose to remain silent." Wait until you get an attorney. Um, Number 3 says detention rules can only detain if reasonable suspicion of being undocumented or a valid immigration warrant. Cannot detain U.S. citizens. That last one is a little bit iffy. So it's 100% correct as law. Typically, they have zero authority to detain or deport U.S. citizens for immigration. That's just duh. Period. Um, However, in practice, it happens kind of often. Wrongful arrests happen, or people get in the way of the law enforcement operation, or they commit assault on the officer. If any of those are true, they absolutely can arrest you, detain you, and handle it through the court system. So don't think that it cannot happen to you. If you're a citizen, make sure that you got your ID with you. If you are detained wrongly, don't sign anything. Demand a lawyer. Know that you can sue later, like I just said. So don't worry about it too badly. If you get beat up or something, though, this stuff is serious, guys. Get evidence. Save it. Keep it. Um, so yeah, that's just about it on number 3 there. Number 4, use of firearms. This one kind of irks me, obviously. On the meme itself, it says, can only draw a gun if immediate threat of serious harm. They cannot use guns to intimidate. I actually had this one looked up, and I'm not going to comment too much on it, except to read the 2 little summaries that I got here of it. So, both of them from AI, mind you, say this is accurate and it's official policy that guns are only for immediate threats. Let's go through the nuances, though. DHS policy is clear. Deadly force is only allowed when there's an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. They can't use their weapons for fleeing. They cannot use their weapons for intimidation. We've seen a lot of videos of that. Save those videos. Keep them. This is not going to fly in the end. They have the same rules as regular police. So the Fourth Amendment's objective reasonableness standard applies to them the same way as it does to local police. So an objective observer has to think that it was reasonable what they did. And they don't have extra shooting rights just because they're federal or because they're ICE or anything like that. So don't think that they do. Um, let's see. Agents are specifically trained not to position themselves in front of vehicles to avoid creating situations requiring deadly force. Police policy, requires de-escalation first. Agents are supposed to try verbal commands, pepper spray, and other options before going to deadly force. This again goes to either a lack of training or a lack of giving. And that all comes from the top. That all comes from Greg Bavino, if he happens to be in charge of that particular operation, or it comes from Stephen Miller, or it comes from whomever ordered the raid or the operation or what have you. So keep in mind that the rules of engagement are being smudged right now. So be extremely careful. Don't put yourself in a position where they're going to feel a need to pull a gun. Think about your high school bully, okay? Think about how easy it was to get his attention and get him pissed off at you and get him doing whatever it is that he used to do to you. These guys, a lot of the time, firstly, a lot of the time, they are actual patriots who are trying to follow the law and the Constitution and care about their fellow Americans and care more than you can believe about this country. However, there's also a good proportion of them who are flat out the high school bullies and in some cases the psychopaths who haven't been diagnosed yet. These people can be dangerous, just like any group of people has a certain subset who can be dangerous. So be very, very careful. Don't do anything that's going to make them feel the need to bully you. Don't get their attention if you can avoid it individually. You know what I mean? Be safe. We saw what happened to Renee Goode. It is a pathetic time in America when I have to warn my fellow citizens not to do the type of peaceful thing she was doing when she got ran over, or excuse me, when she got shot. And by the way, here's a picture of the person that they said was a domestic terrorist. That's a domestic terrorist. Meanwhile, these guys, no, they're having a peaceful protest. So when the rules can be bent and shaped and acted on in that way, where people are just looking at things dishonestly, you have to be extremely careful. It sucks to say, and this is America, and you shouldn't have to be, but you do right now. I have faith that one day that will go back to the way that it should be. Regardless, DHS policy does require them to use de-escalation techniques. They shouldn't be putting themselves in front of cars. When they do anyway and then claim self-defense, that's where the lawsuits come up. So, yeah, document everything. Keep stuff on video. All right, we are back with the meme, and we are moving on to number 5, bystanders. ICE has no authority over U.S. citizens. People filming or passing by. Being nearby is not a crime. Let's see. So your right to film is good. You are absolutely allowed to film what they're doing. Every single federal appeals court has ruled that the First Amendment does protect you when you are recording cops or ICE in public, as long as you're in public. And they have tried to call it harassment many times. Courts disagree. Even courts that, I believe, even courts that were appointed by Donald Trump, although I'll check that fact. Being nearby is obviously legal. Obstruction, though, is interpreted extremely broadly, guys. So if the agents tell you you're obstructing and they tell you to back up, the appropriate response is not, how am I obstructing, and getting right up in their face with your phone. Bad move, dude. I know that's what you want to do, and I would want to do that too, but bad move. And actually gives them permission to treat you as though you are absolutely obstructing their operation. Also, keep in mind, just by taking their attention when they're trying to do what is, at least in part and sometimes fully, a lawful operation, you do not have a right to get in the way of that. And if you're distracting the officers that are trying to do a job, unfortunately, that can be considered obstructing what they're doing and getting in the way. So be smart. You're allowed to protest. You can stand 10, 15 feet away and, say, yell, whatever you want. But by the time you're getting close enough that they feel they need to push you away, you are now getting in the way of the operation. Just don't do it, guys. And I'm not saying that because we're in some dystopia where it's, everything's so crazy that you can't even get close to the cops. I'm saying even on just, the scene of a car accident, that would be expected, and it's respectful of them trying to do their job. And they are obviously taking it to the extreme right now. So be smart, stay out of their way, don't get too close. If you do as a form of protest, accept the fact that you're probably going to be arrested, and honestly, it's probably going to be a violent arrest when you have officers who are not trained that well or who are essentially getting permission from the top to take their anger out on you. Don't let them, don't give them a reason. If you're going to, I salute your bravery, but accept the fact that you are going to almost certainly be going to jail for getting in the way. Last one. ICE cannot stop, detain, or threaten U.S. citizens. Fourth Amendment and DHS policy. They can stop you if they think you might not be a citizen, as we covered from that Supreme Court decision, or for any reason that they may have reasonable suspicion that you're not a citizen. The remedy for that is proving citizenship. If you happen to have your paperwork on you, honestly, I'm not going to advise you on what to do, but it sure is a weird place we're in when we feel like we have to actually keep our papers on us. That's just wild. But yeah, I mean, if you have it on you, that's the quickest way to end what they're going through. These days, a lot of the time, they are actually ignoring the fact that you've got paperwork. They're dragging you into a van and they're stuffing a thing in your face and doing facial recognition against their system anyway. If they're going to do that, the quickest way to get out of the situation is probably to acquiesce and let them do what they're going to do, as long as you're a citizen, obviously. And don't fight back. Don't wrestle with them. Just go through it. And anything about it that was a bad, improper, illegal, anything like that experience, make sure you keep records of it. You can file a lawsuit later if there's something that happened that was improper. But a lot of the time, you're just going to have to accept that this is America right now, and it's not going to be worth your time or your money to file that lawsuit. So the best way to fight back in the end is going to be to go to the ballot box. The best way to fight what's going on right now in the end is to show with your vote. Come out in droves. Come out in numbers like they've never seen before. Do not be lazy and sit on the couch. Even if they've made it difficult for you to get an ID or to go to a certain voting center that's 15 miles away, or whatever it may be, whatever the obstruction somebody has tried to put in your way, overcome it. Figure it out, no matter what. And if you do, those obstructions will start to go away and it'll be easier to vote next time. So that's the real way that you fight back, is at the ballot box. That's what America's about. That's what we were founded on. And that's what we've always done. The court system, the rule of law, and the voting booth. That is how we solve the problems that we have in this country, no matter what kind of fight it is. So just always keep that in mind. Not violence, not destroying things, not breaking windows, not graffiti. All of those things happen. The visibility can absolutely make a difference. But the biggest difference, again, is at the ballot box. Never forget that. ICE can arrest citizens for federal crimes like obstruction, standing in front of their van, or pushing an agent. That's a potential felony, even if you are a citizen. So keep that in mind. And Your constitutional rights, this is the last thing that the AI has to say here. Your constitutional rights are real, but they're enforced through courts after the fact, not by ICE in the moment. Know when to assert, when to comply, and when to sue. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It also gives a little takeaway here. It says, this meme's heart is in the right place, but it's from a pre-September 2025 world. The rights are real, but so are the loopholes. So stay informed, stay calm, and film everything. I could not have said it better myself. That is incredibly good advice. If you have anything to say or any questions, put them down in the comments. There will be some links in the description for whatever I mentioned. There will be links for. Obviously, we've done whatever fact checks we can on the screen. And guys, it is a dangerous place out there right now. It's very, very weird. It just feels like we're in a place that is incomprehensible right now, and I am apoplectic about it. We are living in a world where it feels like the federal government has made an enemy of the American people, at least half of us, half of them. And I never thought I would see a day like that. I know there are people out there of certain persuasions who have always felt like the federal government made them an enemy. But this is a first for me, feeling like half of the country is being made to be the enemy, along with the fourth estate, along with our press and our media. It's a weird, scary place, guys. But one thing I know from just living life is that nothing is forever. Things change. Just nothing lasts forever. And that is inherent in our system. And it's one of the most beautiful parts of our system is the peaceful transfer of power. Thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate your time. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Sharing is the most important thing. I really need viewers, guys. I appreciate every single person who has either approached me online or in person to say, hey, I've listened and here's my feedback. Really means the world to me as I build this channel. I hope you guys have a safe evening. If you are in Minneapolis right now, I'm sorry for what's going on and how you're being treated. And I hope that you get to see a light at the end of this tunnel any day now. I'm praying for you guys. So thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon here on Reason Rises with Doug V.